Jam-packed episode of NXT last night, with the main event being Karrion Kross versus Johnny Gargano for the title. Ember Moon was close to capturing the women's title in Your House last month, however constant distractions from Dakota Kai took her away from the opportunity. Tonight she looked for a bit of revenge, however with Shotzi Blackheart not in her corner, how tough would it be? And that started off the show. Dakota Kai got the better of Ember Moon in the early moments. After bringing Moon down to the mat, Kai caught her opponent. Moon got back in the match when she sent for Kai to the floor. A suicide drive and a rope rebound kick and an Insecure laid the former women's champ down. Kai was able to swing things back in her favour thanks to a hellacious punt kick in the ring post. The former NXT champion sprang out a suplex, firing out with a clothesline to get back in control. However, Kai caught Moon in the corner with a running boot and spiked her with an inverted spine buster. Moon kicked out. Kai went to the top and was caught by a flying single leg drop. Moon ended up going for a go-to kick for a valiant effort as Dakota Kai got the win. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Immediately after the match, Xia Li stormed down to the ring. Li walked past Kai and stepped out to Gonzalez. The NXT Women's Champion did not back down from Tian Sha's ace, and Dakota Kai did not look happy. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. This was an okay match to start off the show, and probably the right result in all honesty. We saw Grimes show up at LA Knight's house because of course he's his butler now, where Knight brought in a barber and some more to help him look professional. Grimes was surprisingly happy, which aggravated Knight, before we got Tyler Russ versus Bobby Fish after a little confrontation. Russ got the better of the former tag champion early on, and Hayden and Suzuki and Roderick Strong shouted instructions at Rush. Fish eventually got the better of Russ, sending him overhead into the rope with an exploded suplex. Roddy Strong distracted Fish, allowing Russ to take out the leg of Fish with a chop block. Rush shot the half with an injured leg and prevented him from kicking out. Diamond Mine circled the veteran, but the cruiserweight champ Kushida rushed the ring to save him. Strong said that Kushida was on his time now, inching closer and closer to the gold. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. I kind of feel bad for Bobby Fish getting jobbed out like this when the other three members of the era are doing such great thing, but it's good to see Diamond Mine getting the W. Joe met Karrion Kross backstage to discuss the rules. Joe wasn't worried, however Kross said that he would destroy him tonight. Before we saw the Way show up to NXT earlier in the day, Beth Phoenix gave Indy Hartwell some advice on Dexter Lumis, telling her to take a chance. Before we got Gigi Dolan versus Saray. Saray originally challenged Toni Storm, but of course she's been called up to SmackDown, so she needed a new opponent, so Dolan stepped up. They shook hands, starting the match. A snapmare seemingly dropped Dolan early on before Mandy Rose showed up for some reason. Saray ducked a clothesline and took Dion out down with a schoolboy. She followed up with a mutilock in the centre of the ring. Dolan refused to tap out, and she caught Saray with a series of pinfall attempts. Saray kicked out and was taken out with a running STO. The Japanese star responded with a running drop kick to the basement. Saray then planted Dolan on him with a Tazplex of sorts, and Mandy Rose walked off of the match, seemingly impressed with Saray. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. To be honest, this all felt weird and just kind of pushed together, to be honest. Del Fantasma was backstage insulting a lot of the NXT locker room, including Hit Row. Wild claimed that their cipher last week caused his ears to bleed. Santos Escobar agreed and moved on to Dexter Lumis, who he called out for a match later. The NXT Breakout Tournament returned tonight with Brendan Veek, who is now Drake Hudson, claiming he punched Ike Manjiro in the mouth during their match. But anyway, we got Lumis versus Escobar. Escobar taunted Lumis, which was pretty unwise. Lumis sent the former NXT Cruiserweight Champion to the floor with a clothesline. Escobar ran to his allies, telling to get him. When they turned around, Lumis was nowhere to be seen. Wild and Mendoza rushed to the other side, but couldn't find him. Lumis was under the ring and nearly pulled Escobar into the darkness as well. When we came back from a break, Escobar had taken over, double running knee in the corner and set up for an avalanche Hurricane Rana. Escobar followed with a running basement knee to the jaw and hit 3 amigos, with Lumis killing out the third. However, he couldn't avoid a backbreaker. It wasn't enough to put Lumis away, and Dexter fired up with a series of rights and uppercuts. As the ref checked on Mendoza at ringside, who had been taken out, Wild pulled Lumis into the ring post. Back in the ring, Escobar planted Lumis with a phantom driver, and after the match, Hit Row met Legado del Fantasma on the ramp with the NXT North American Champion and his group focusing Legado to the back. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. This was a really, really entertaining match and the right result for me. Turn to NXT to see LA Knight forcing Cameron Grimes to mow a massive bit of land. During the break, Indy Hartwell came to the ring to pick Dexter Lumis up and carry him off. They didn't get far as Hartwell fell to the ground, however they still nearly ended up with a kiss. LeRae ran down to ringside, barely breaking them up before they could lock lips. Before we got the first round of the breakout tournament, Hudson planted Giro early on, and it seemed that it was going his way before Giro managed to avoid Hudson's bear paws several times. However, he was caught by Hudson and lifted on his shoulders for a nasty kick to the face. A running double axe got in control before Giro nearly caught Hudson with a sunset flip and battered his opponents with a series of punches. The Tarantula locked him for a few seconds and Giro countered the Razor's Edge with a Hurricane Rana. He couldn't escape Giro, who landed him with a moonsault. A kicking combination pelted Hudson, but the big man responded with a big boss slam to get the win. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. It was okay, I suppose. It was just there, to be honest. Backstage, Pete Dunne was asked by Mackenzie who he wanted to win the NXT title match later on. He said he didn't care. He said he was the best technician before Dutch came in, and he disagreed. And it's going to lead to a 4-way brawl between all the technicians before we got the Robert Stain Brown versus Catanzaro and Caden Carter. Casey was in a rough spot against the Robert Stone brand. Catanzaro managed to finally shove Aaliyah out of the way and make it to Caden Carter, who came in and gave her shoe a hitting. Carter and Catanzaro eventually hit a neck breaker 450 splash combination to get the relatively quick win. And after the match, Aaliyah slapped the taste out of Robert Stone's mouth. Finally, just break them up, please. But anyway, Samoa Joe was already confronted the NXT champion Karrion Kross, with Kross and Joe both giving up on her. He followed up with Gargano, telling him to obey the warnings, where Pete Dunne was there to stare him down. Grimes was then shown that he's a terrible butler again. Knight told him when he asked something to be done, he expected Grimes to do it. Grimes would then accidentally sign Knight into the pool with a rake. I'm kind of liking where this is going, not gonna lie. Before Adam Cole was in the ring and said he was ready to move on, Cole called out Samoa Joe, calling him an overpaid security guard. However, as soon as that said, Bronson Reed appeared. The former North American champion said Cole was manipulating those with something to lose. He had nothing to lose, and he was going to take on Cole. Cole for a super kick, but Reed blocked it, and Joe came down and stared right in Cole's eyes ahead of the NXT Championship match that then soon got underway. Karrion Kross versus Johnny Gargano was next. Gargano escaped Kross grass as the match began. Another one knocked Kross off the apron, and Gargano hit a rolling senton. However, the NXT champion was right back to his feet, and he took advantage before Samoa Joe caused a slight distraction, and Gargano managed to get in top. However, Kross eventually managed to hammer him with heavy-handed strikes. A series of clotheslines were shrugged off by the NXT champion, but Gargano rocked him with a step-up into Goro. One final beat was countered by a pair of suplexes, and Gargano took the Doomsday Saito and turned it into crossbody mid-air. The third was countered with a lariat before Gargano went for the Gargano escape and locking it in after the Kross jacket. However, Kross and Joe stared each other down in a temper after Kross was unhappy with Joe. Gargano used this distraction to hit a tilt-on-world DDT. However, Kross stared at Joe after getting back in control and hit one final Doomsday forearm on Gargano. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. This is a great match, and as much as this title reign it can improve, I do think this is the right result. Overall this week, NXT gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I relatively enjoyed this NXT. It was a decent enough show. There was enough going on to keep me entertained. There were some bits that just I didn't quite fancy, but on the other hand, there were some really, really good matches on there. So on the whole, kind of, you could say your typical NXT, but there definitely were some good bits on this. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, comments down below. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my own channel on the screen right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.